His work has been featured in USA Today, Newsweek, and Sports Illustrated. David Purdy is a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer, and he's teaching right here at DMACC.
I grew up in Ankeny, Iowa, and my grandfather always worked at the Iowa State Fair in managing the grandstands every year, and he always took a lot of pictures. And I was lucky enough when I was a younger child to spend a lot of my weeks down at the Iowa State Fair just hanging around with him, and that's when I really got interested in photography. So most of my career, I worked as a photojournalist, and I got to meet new people every day and go places and see exciting things. But as a person, I always liked to help people, and that job helped me do that. Part of my job was to cover the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. And there was an immediate need, in my opinion, to get those pictures out to the public so they could see the aftermath of Katrina and know exactly what happened down there so that we could get help. The important thing about a photojournalist is every day I had to adapt and overcome adversity. And I think that's a great model in life, period, for anybody. And whether you're shooting senior pictures or a wedding, or you're being a photojournalist at a fire, or you're covering a hurricane, those sort of things, you have to be able to communicate with people, get your point across, and then get them to let you photograph or bring you in. So every day I would go meet new people, go new places, and then just have conversations with them so that they knew who I was, and I gleaned a little bit about who they were. I was lucky enough to win a Pulitzer Prize Gold Medal for public service with all the staff that worked at the Sun-Herald newspaper along with me for our work after Hurricane Katrina. The great part about that award was not winning the award, it was what the award said, and it said, serving the people of South Mississippi in their greatest time of need. Well, there were several memorable moments from Katrina where my photographs really helped people. And one of the most memorable ones from Katrina was I was flying aerial photography after the storm, and we saw a fire, and we went over to photograph the fire, and as we got closer to it, we saw a house, the roof of a house with the word Steve W. 117 safe on top of the house. And I knew I had to take that picture because that person had painted that on the roof of the house and wanted their relatives to know that they were safe. And we circled that house 3 or 4 times, and then we went on. And I always wondered who that individual was, and at the 1-year anniversary of Katrina, we put a special picture in a notation in the paper reaching out to find out who that person was, and it was a gentleman named Steve Wilson. And he had told me when he stopped by the newspaper to visit that his former wife, his children, his mother, everybody knew who that was when they saw that picture. They saw it in the newspaper, and moved it on the Associated Press, and some of them lived in Alabama, some of them in Georgia, some of them in Tennessee, but everybody knew that he was safe. Another memorable moment from Katrina for me was a man named Tony Webb. I was just walking through the west part of Gulfport, Mississippi, looking at all the devastation, and there was a gentleman, an older gentleman, maybe in his 70s, with a cane, and just 3 stories worth of debris. And we ran the picture in the paper, and I moved it on the Associated Press wire in hopes that maybe somebody who knew him might see it. And about a week later, I got a phone call at my home address from his daughter who lived in North Carolina, and she was looking for her dad. And I called her back, and we had a conversation about where she should look. She'd driven all the way to the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and then I got another voicemail on my phone that said, "We found him, he was exactly where you said he was." And that to this day, just the thought that one of my photographs of one individual from that storm helped his family reunite with him, period. I mean, that is just powerful, powerful stuff.